Hello everyone and welcome to today's reading. I am Starlight Vessel and today we are going to be looking at the energy surrounding October, but also Mercury Retrograde. Mercury Retrograde is happening September 27th to October 18th. So we don't just want to predict today what will be happening next month, but what can we do, what advice can we get in order to empower your month so that you have the best October and a Mercury retrograde that can be less challenging than normal. So yeah, we just, let's do what we can so that we end October very strongly. All right, so today I have, if you are familiar with these dice, they are D&D or otherwise known as Dungeons and Dragons. But anyway, we will start off with pile number 1, which is a 6-sided die. And then we have pile number 2, which is an 8-sided die. And then we have pile number 3, which is a 12-sided die. And last but not least, we have pile number 4, which is a 20-sided die. And if you play D&D, you know how much fun or not fun this die can cause you. All right, so if you want to take a moment now to pause the video to choose the pile that you are most drawn to, you can go ahead and do that now, or maybe one of the die called out to you as I was holding them. So you can definitely choose a pile that way, or you can go down to the description box. And you can also choose the pile with the timestamp numbers if one of those numbers kind of calls to you more than the others. There are multiple ways that you can do it. Some people just listen to the whole video from beginning to end and then just choose once they finish listening, decide which one resonated with them the most. So there's no real wrong way to go about this. You can usually tell within the first 2 minutes or so if a reading is resonating. And so if you started listening to one and it doesn't immediately necessarily make sense for you, then you can always just stop listening for that pile in particular and then choose another one. Sometimes actually I grab my tarot cards. So I'll grab one that is numbered 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. I'll shuffle them and I'll ask which pile pertains to me the most. And whatever card I draw is the pile that I then watch. And usually that works really well for me. You can also meditate for a minute or two and then see which number pops into your head first. All right, so whenever you're ready, again, don't forget to go down to the description box and click on the timestamp for the pile that you were most drawn to in the end. So without further ado, let's get started. Hello. If you are here, you chose pile number 1, which was our 6-sided die. So today I have pre-shuffled all the cards. We have our tarot cards, some oracle cards from Heavenly Bodies, the Work Your Light Oracle deck, and we got one dragon card because I think we need at least one dragon to fight off some of the challenges that Mercury retrograde will bring. All right, so first let's look at your tarot cards. We have Ace of Swords, Knight of Swords, Temperance, and 8 of Swords. All right. So all of your cards are upright is what I'm noticing right away. So a lot of the obstacles that you may be facing in the upcoming 2 weeks or so, 2 or 3 weeks, might be external, a little bit out of your control, but what we can always control is how we react to things. And luckily here with the Ace and the Knight of Swords, I think you will be very clear about the things that you want, the ideas that you're trying to pursue. Any contracts that you may have, you will have a lot of clarity surrounding that. And with Temperance upright, you will find a very good balance between things. So I think not much is going to, you might stumble a little bit, but nothing is going to trip you. Because we do have the Eight of Swords here. So, you know, obviously obstacles are unavoidable. But the beautiful thing with the Eight of Swords is that if we just look around ourselves, you know, she has swords around us, but she's not bound or anything. She can easily navigate her way around the swords, right? There's no real restrictions other than herself. Any doubts that, you know, this woman in the card has in her own mind. So really, I think any challenges will be mental. That sounds a little weird. They're going to be blockages that you have in your own mind. Perhaps limiting beliefs, maybe a little bit of anxiety, but you have a clear path out of any obstacle, like I've said. Let's take a look at your oracle cards. So first off, we have Chiron and we have Cancer. So the interesting thing about Chiron is he's named after, I believe it's a centaur. And this centaur had the ability to heal. And he could heal other people, but he could not heal himself. So it says here, hurt and heal. So one thing that we want to make sure of in the upcoming month and during Mercury retrograde is to make sure that you're paying attention to your own wounds. Don't get too caught up in trying to help others. We do have Cancer here who is very nurturing. So you may feel a need to nurture other people, but do not forget to neglect yourself. You can only help other people as much as you can help yourself. The better you feel, the more healed you are, the better then that you can help the people that you love. And I think, yeah, naturally you do like provide this sense of comfort and protection for the people around you, your close friends and your family members. But they can't always rely on you. And I think in a way, sometimes you give out a little bit too much, and maybe a lot of the times the things that you provide for other people are not reciprocated. And so this can cause you then to be hurt, even though no one really did you wrong. It's just that you know, do so much for other people and then maybe they don't really do anything to help you. And then you're feeling a little bit jaded. But remember, when you help other people, you cannot do it with expectations. So make sure that when you do reach out for people, it is because you have the energy, because you feel well enough to help them. And if you don't, just stop. You know, you are not responsible for the well-being of everybody around you. Essentially, everybody has to learn on their own how to be okay, because if you're the only reason that somebody is feeling good or they feel good, you know, during the day when they're talking to you, or you're there helping them or providing an ear to listen to them, but what happens when you're not around? Then they kind of just revert back to the state that they were in before, whether they're depressed or sad or, you know, anything like that. So just remember, sometimes the best thing that you can do is give people a little nudge to seek help on their own, whether that's therapy, you know, whether they need to start being a little bit more busy, distracted, getting into hobbies so that they don't have so much time to think about really dark things, essentially. And then they kind of get trapped in this hole that they dig themselves in, and then they can't get out of it. So just make sure that we don't have a boundary card here, but whenever somebody reaches out to you, or they don't necessarily reach out, but you know, they maybe say something and you think that they're really down on themselves or they're feeling really sad about something, maybe try not to make it your first instinct to be the person that helps them, that without you don't feel that without you they couldn't get better. Because essentially what it is that without themselves, without their own recognition that they need to get better, they're never going to get better. They can find temporary things that make them feel better. Like if you're a very good friend and you know how to listen to them, and you're there for them all the time, then in those moments, yeah, they might feel a little bit better. But just remember, long term, That's not what's best for them. They need to learn how to lean on themselves in order to get better, so that they stop relying on other people to feel happy, to feel good about themselves. They need to find that within themselves. So if this month, or if this Mercury retrograde, you find yourself in those situations, surrounded by someone or maybe a group of people that rely too heavily on you, and it drains you, yeah, just remember to kind of, draw the line. And kind of, swords are also about communication. So learn to speak up. The truth is the truth when somebody needs help. Remember, you are no one's therapist. So it might not feel good for them to hear this at first, but it is what it is, and it's their only way out. You are not anyone's way out of depression or anyone's way out of anxiety. Like, humans are not keys, or, yes, there's people that, are therapists professionally and they should go to those people. But when you know people personally, if it's a relative or a family member or a friend or something like that, you cannot provide the therapy that a professional can, because we have our own biases, etc. So, and it's not fair to treat your loved ones as therapists anyway. So just keep that in mind. If there's anybody draining your energy in the upcoming month, just, send them where they need to go for help, and stop being that person that goes above and beyond for everybody, because at the end of the day, it really hurts you and drains you. So focus on yourself, my loves. Nurture and comfort your own needs first. All right, and we also have Sisterhood of the Rose and Dance with Life. So it says beauty and devotion, priestess, mystic teacher, and then do something to change your energy. So yeah, I think a lot of this for you will be about finding like-minded people. Maybe the people in your life, like, it's coming up, that are either draining you emotionally or mentally or whatever that is. Maybe try calling in, bringing in, manifesting people that are kind of on the same wavelength as you. That as far as you've come to heal yourself, that the people around you, are kind of in that same vibration, that they uplift you and don't bring you down. So I think, with the sisterhood, that's who you need to call in. And maybe you don't have that support right now, and you're kind of the one trying to help everyone and uplift everyone. And it's not an ideal place to be. Not everyone will appreciate you, and even if they do appreciate you, it's just not fair to you. Yeah, and this do something to change your energy, I think, has also to do with that, with the fact that the people around you are bringing you down. And the only way, it does start with yourself, absolutely. But I think you are already in a very high vibrational state. And the only reason that your energy may be a little bit low vibrational is because of the people around you. And I know it's probably sounding a little bit repetitive at this point, but it keeps coming up. And I think this is what's really necessary for you. And like I had mentioned earlier, all of the tarot cards are upright, which means a lot of your issues are external. So that's going to be a way to change your energy, is to change the people that you choose to surround yourself with. And you don't have to cut people off. You don't have to say, I'm sorry that you're going through issues, I can't be around you. Like, no, you can still see these people and talk to them every now and then, but there is a limit, Tell yourself, like, I'm only going to devote, 10 to 20 minutes a day to this friend or this person, because you really need to focus on yourself. And there's no shame in needing new friends or a new group of people to be around that will just be on that same vibrational energy that you're in. And it'll just help you become the best version of yourself. And you're going to feel so much better. All right, last but not least, we're going to bring in this dragon, orange dragon, bring soul families and communities together. Yeah, we keep getting like sisterhood, community, spread belonging, warmth, and oneness. Bring people everywhere together. So yeah, I think you may be wanting a connection with bigger groups. Maybe you've been putting your too much energy into one or two people that have been draining you, like we've already mentioned, and you want to belong to like a bigger group that feels more supportive, and there's a lot that you can bring to the table. If you can do so much to people who are in a very negative state, imagine what you can do to people who vibrate on a very positive state, who are very grateful, who reach out to you not just because they feel bad or because they're sad, but because they're so overjoyed and they see you and admire you, and it's like this reciprocation of I don't know, feeling good, you know? Yeah, and I think essentially maybe you haven't found your soul family, or maybe you have found a few of them, but you know, you haven't made it a whole community yet. You know, I think what you're meant for is so much bigger than only having one or two close friends. Especially because I think you have this very magnetic, like charismatic personality about you that draws in a lot of people. And because of that, obviously people that are very down on themselves are even more drawn to you. So you tend to attract those people even more because it feels good to be around you. You know, you're like the orange dragon. You know, I think of like orange and yellow. I think of the sun just radiating. And people who are cold are gonna be more drawn to get closer to you than people who are already warm themselves. So it's kind of about creating that balance, right? You don't just want people around you who have empty cups. You also want people around you who are filled to the brim and have something to contribute and to share with you, so that it's not just a one-sided relationship. The sun deserves to be friends with other stars and not just, you know, empty black holes. I don't know where that metaphor came from, but you know, you are shining, you want to continue shining, and you want to be surrounded by other people who shine, and together you shine brighter, as cheesy as that sounds, but it's true. And yeah, this dragon is holding, you know, light in its hands, and that's you, my friend. So definitely do not forget your power. It's so important. You don't have to use all of your energy in helping other people, especially people that cannot help themselves. I think you have spent a better part of your life being way too kind and putting your energy in empty cups. And then those cups just keep being spilled back out because they're not listening to you. They're not hearing what you're saying. And so you're not like full on wasting your time because you are helping them to some degree. But, you know, like I said, at the end of the day, if they choose to continue living in misery, you know, only so much you can do. You know, try to, you know, whatever it is that you do, whether you pray or you manifest, you try to attract the right people around you, because you deserve that community, that soul family. And there's a lot of people out there like that, you know. Just make sure that that's what you're attracting. And I think this change your energy has a lot to do with that. And you will feel so much more joy. You will accomplish a lot more. And feeling like you're part of a community is just one of the most wonderful things in the world. And you deserve to feel that love of an entire community. So I think I will leave you there, my lovely pile ones. I hope that this resonated. I hope that your Mercury retrograde in your October isn't too bad. It doesn't seem like it will be. You're a very intelligent person. You can do this. Just give yourself a little bit more love and find those that love you the same, that give you the same amount of support that you give them. All right, pile one, much love to you. I hope you have a wonderful October. If you wish to have a personal reading with me, you can do that on my website, starlightvessel.com, or you can join my spiritual family on Instagram at starlightvessel. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one. Bye! Hello! If you're here, you chose pile number 2, which was the 8-sided die. We're going to start off by looking at your tarot cards. We also have some oracle cards for you, and we're going to finish off with a dragon because I said in the first pile, I think we all need a fire-breathing dragon to help us combat some of the challenges that, you know, Mercury retrograde tends to bring. All right, so we're going to start off with 4 of crystals. We also have the Empress reversed, Page of Swords, and the 8 of crystals. So I think first things first, and this is a really positive thing with the Empress reversed, I think you're going to be taking care of yourself a lot, and you're also going to be taking care of your finances here with the 4 of crystals, and also a little bit with the 8 of crystals. It's supposed to be the 4 of pentacles and 8 of pentacles. It's just how it is in this deck. 4 of crystals is often about holding on tight to your finances, being smart with it. An 8 of crystals can talk about honing your craft, your skills, getting a lot better at something that you've been working hard for. And just the fact that you're protecting your own energy as well as your finances, like you are going about it the right way. Pile number 2, good for you. And we also have the Page of Swords. So I think also any new ideas that are coming up, it might be to start a business or something like that. It's gonna go pretty well. Definitely the potential to rewards. I think you definitely have ideas, whether it's your own business, something to bring in more finances, more, maybe even investing, and even thinking of ways to bring in residual income so that you're not working 24/7 for the money that you have, but, you know, do things here and there that will bring in income without you having to do anything else. You know, this is just an example, but like if you write a book, you're an author, once you put that book out there, whatever money you make off of it is residual income, right? You're not working. Once that book is written, your work is pretty much done. I mean, unless you're like doing signature tours or something like that. I don't know exactly what they're called. Book signings, I guess, to promote. But you know, for the most part, every time somebody buys a single copy of your book, that's not like you didn't do anything there, right? That person went on their own to the bookstore, they put that energy in, they spent their own money, and you get paid for it. So, you know, ideas like that I think will be coming to you this October, or Mercury retrograde, or you have already been planting the seeds and we're finally going to start seeing the fruits of your labor. So let's get a look at your oracle cards. Let's start off with the heavenly bodies. We have the sun. Oh, yes. And we also have square. All right, so we have the sun, which says self-express and embody truth. And then we have square, which is always a 90-degree angle in astrology, a challenging situation and a mountain to climb. So it's no surprise that we have a square surrounding Mercury retrograde. It always brings its challenges and obstacles. But you also, it's next to the sun. And all of this seems to be pretty positive. So whatever the situation may be, I think you're just, you know, like a little speed bump. You're just gonna drive over it, and it's just gonna cause you to slow down a little bit. And then that's it. Pentacles or crystals can also talk about things moving a little bit more slowly. So I think for you, this square aspect is just that. Something slowing you down a little bit, but nothing you can't easily hurdle. A mountain to climb, sure, you have the stamina to climb the mountain. So that won't be an issue for you. With the sun here, I think whatever it is that you're pursuing is aligned with your highest good. You are being authentic to yourself, so just keep on that path. Keep on being yourself. Do not get swayed by maybe some opportunities that may sound promising, but in reality, like maybe they'll make you more money or a little bit more money or something like that, but you may not find as much joy from it as whatever idea it is that you've been thinking about and planting and working hard towards. Stay on that track as much as you can. Let's see your other oracle cards. We also have the Courageous Peony, multifaceted, unique nature, let yourself be seen. Yes. And then we have no, wait, postpone, pause, say no. Yeah. Okay. That is a huge confirmation that, yeah, you might have some opportunities or something like that, that it would be in your best interest to say no, even if at face value it seems like a better opportunity. With the sun in here, like the Courageous Peony, like be courageous enough to be yourself and say, no, you know what? I know what I want and I'm already going after it. I don't need to be distracted by things. I have worked so hard for the things that I'm trying to accomplish. And, you know, like let's say you're trying to make your own business and you get offered a position at a company, but at this company, you would obviously be working under somebody else and it's not your own business. So yes, maybe at first the payoff is better, but I think long term you would be a lot happier for whatever it is that you're working towards already. And we also have wait and postpone. So yeah, like I was talking about here with the square aspect and something being slowed down for you. Yeah, I mean, that's what it is. Something's gonna come up and you're gonna maybe think about it, but at the end of the day, you're going to say no, or you probably should say no. Now, of course, you have free will. If you decide, hey, you know what? Even though this is my own thing and I feel like it's aligned to my purpose, I just don't have the energy to go after it at this time. I think I'm going to take that job. I think I'm going to take that position and work for someone else because I can't handle it right now. Like, you always have free will. So I am no one, or even the tarot is no one to tell you what not to do. So even though this is suggestive of, you know, this other opportunity not being in your absolute best interest or in your absolute highest purpose, that doesn't mean that you can't or shouldn't do it, right? There's never wrong choices that we make. I think it just means right now, whatever it is that you're doing, this is a general reading, so that could be different for all of you. Whatever it is that you're doing right now, you are aligned with your highest purpose. And things that are offered on outside of whatever it is that you're doing that might seem tempting might stray you from your highest good. But like I said, if you want to try it out, try something different, absolutely you can do whatever it is that your heart desires. I am very curious what all of you are doing. If you want to leave it in the comment section, whether that's starting a business, whether you're going for your PhD, whatever it is. Like I'm very curious what you guys are all doing, because you guys are all kicking ass. That's amazing. You are shining in your authentic truth, your authentic self. And you're being so brave about it. With this Mercury retrograde, what this reading is just saying is that challenge or hiccup it's going to be something that is distracting. But really, at this point in time, at least, you can really do no wrong. All right, so what's dragon did we get for you guys today? Earth and water dragon. Creates the foundation for new growth. A fresh start is coming with new opportunities. Nurture your ideas and harvest the abundance. So this is really crazy to me because I hadn't really done these types of readings in a while, and I didn't look at the cards. I pre-shuffled them, but I didn't look at them. So it's really weird when you draw an oracle card and it just affirms or kind of repeats what you were just saying as a confirmation. Yeah, nurture your ideas. Here with the Page of Wands, it's all about, you know, thinking about new things and starting new things and harvesting the abundance with the Eight of Pentacles. Because before the Eight of Pentacles or the Eight of Crystals, we have the Seven of Pentacles. And in the Rider-Waite-Smith deck, you can see the guy is planting. He's just finished planting. And in the Eight of Pentacles, like, okay, we've already reaped the rewards of our harvest. Or it's coming very soon. And you're very close to mastery of whatever it is that you're working towards. So I think you have created a foundation already. I don't think it's being created. I think you've already laid that solid foundation down. Maybe you haven't built a castle yet, but the foundation is there. And when you build that castle, it's going to be a rock solid foundation. So it's not going to crumble easily. It's going to be very, very, very hard to break down that castle. Because yeah, not only are you working very hard, you're being very smart with your money. You are taking really good care of yourself, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, whatever it is that's most important to you, so that you feel really good, not just physically, but also just mentally. I think you're doing things that make you happy, but you're not shy about hard work. I wouldn't be surprised if many of you have strong Leo in your chart, whether that's your sun, moon, or rising. Yeah, a lot of confidence here, a lot of bravery. A lot of things that you're doing or are going to do, a lot of other people would not be willing to do it or put in the work or be brave enough to be themselves and put themselves out there like that. So please, if you want to share with me what it is you're doing, I'm very curious. And I think I'm going to leave you there. This was, you know, kind of going to be advice in terms of how to empower your October, how to empower your Mercury retrograde so that you have the best month possible, but you are already on the right track, you know? The only little hiccup is going to be, you know, maybe some distractions that might stray you from what you're doing, but I think you're so focused that most of you will not be tempted to stray from your course. All right, pile 2, I think I will leave you there. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like a personal reading from me, you can always order one from my website, starlightvessel.com. I offered emailed readings that way, where I, you know, send a picture of your spread, and then I send you detailed information about, you know, the interpretations of the cards. And if you would like, you could also join my spiritual family on Instagram at Starlight Vessel as well. And with that, I hope to see you guys in the next video. Until then, bye. Hello, if you guys are here, you chose pile number 3, which was our 12-sided die. All right, so we're first going to be looking at your tarot cards. Again, looking into the energies of October and Mercury retrograde and how we can best empower this time, so that, because it often brings, you know, a little bit of challenges and obstacles, we want to see how we can kind of jump over them as seamlessly as possible. All right, so first off, we have the Queen of Crystals reversed, which is also the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Emperor reversed. And then we have Serenity reversed, which is also the Hermit. And then we have the Ace of Wands reversed. All right, so pile 3. It seems like we're gonna have a lot of internal struggles, which is often what reverse cards can mean, especially since they all came up reversed. When cards are upright, it can sometimes talk more about external forces, things a little bit more out of our control. But here, they're all reversed. So I think whatever issues or hurdles that you're going to face are more inward, looking inside of yourself for the answers. Okay. Now, the Queen of Crystals can often be, you know, positive in the sense that you may be needing a little bit of downtime, taking a break from work, maybe indulging a little bit, spoiling yourself a little bit. It can be like spending a little bit too much money, but just keep an eye on that. You can indulge a little bit, but do keep track of your finances. But if you need a spa day, a day to go shopping, just, you know, to release some tension, you know, getting a massage, something like that, that will really help you get through like a really tough day. I think self-care will be very important for you this month to help you face some of these obstacles, whatever they may be. With the Emperor reversed, you also may be struggling a little bit to see your own power, to really trust yourself to be in charge if you are put in a position of power. Just remember that so many people are placed into positions of power, or, you know, even just positions at work, and they're not qualified, they're not ready, and yet they do it. I think we forget that most people are not really qualified for their jobs, or they are, but never entirely, never, you know, 100%. And if you are placed in some position of, if you get a promotion or at work or something like that, just remember that you've, like anybody else, have worked hard to be where you are, and you are no less qualified than anybody else to get put into a position of power, to get that promotion. And if it's a new endeavor that, you know, maybe you're dealing with imposter syndrome or something like that, everybody has got to start somewhere. And you don't have to be ashamed that you're new at something. The fact that you're there willing to learn and work really hard just says so much more than people who sit out on opportunities because they didn't believe in themselves. But the truth is, most jobs are able to be done by the majority of people on Earth. And much of that is just willing to say, hey, you know what? I am new at this, but I am gonna give it my all and put myself out there. You know, what do I have to lose? And then with the Hermit, or Serenity reversed in this deck, I think you will. Maybe the beginning of the month, you're kind of going to struggle a little bit with, you know, actually getting the courage to really put yourself out there. But I think towards the second half of the month, you're going to be like, you know what the hell? Let's do this. Like I said, you have nothing to lose. Don't let it discourage you. With this Ace of Wands, you obviously have a lot of passions and ambitions, and this lack of self-confidence may slow you down just a little bit, but once you overcome that hurdle, you are solid gold. And you can even speed up this process, because this is talking about obstacles that you may face. But if today you decide, hey, you know what? Why should I lose time on not believing in myself? It's just gonna hold me back. If you decide that today or tomorrow, then you can start then the first half of your month, like, you have the power to turn this around. You don't have to wait for the second half of the month to come around just because this is what the cards are implying. You know, that's the beauty of tarot, that you can kind of get some insight and say, okay, this is based on my current energies. But if I am aware that this is kind of what's holding me back, is my own self-belief, my self-confidence, then if I work on that starting today, then maybe things can speed up and these opportunities will come to me a lot faster. And there's no reason why I can't say yes to that promotion tomorrow, you know? You are the only barrier between things happening soon or happening later. And again, that's why all the cards are reversed, because it's kind of up to you, your thinking, how you feel about yourself. All right, so let's see your other oracle cards. We also have Jupiter and Scorpio. So yeah, Jupiter, grow and expand. Scorpio, intensity, exposing, purging, and renewing. Yeah, I think as soon as you say, you know, F it, I am gonna put myself out there, your luck is gonna turn like this. And Scorpio a lot is a lot about transformation. I think once you really see like the beauty and the power that you have within yourself, we have like the butterfly here again, talks about transformation. Scorpio is often one with the death card in the tarot. So that purging away negative thoughts of the self, those limiting beliefs, renewing how you view yourself, because that is the most important thing here. We put a lot of value on what other people think about us, but in reality, we have no control of that. You can be the perfect human, you can be the most responsible person, the most qualified, and people will still find a way to see you negatively. And that has nothing to do with you, that has to do with themselves. And it's because they think that so many things are not possible for them, that they cannot do these things. So when they see other people doing them, it's like a little bit of that envy or jealousy. And they're like, well, how come that person got that position? You know, why are they better than me? And the truth is, they're not better. It's just that they were kind of more fearless and they believed in themselves when other people didn't. And really, when we start looking at life through the lens of like a more positive aspect, right? Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a fire sign. Fire signs tend to be, I would say, not that they're more optimistic, but it comes to them more naturally. They are the fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. You could have Sagittarius or Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. Doesn't have to be the case. But yeah, once you realize your own power, you are going to be pretty unstoppable. I feel like this Queen of Crystals will flip. This Emperor will flip. This Hermit, well, actually the Hermit is pretty good upside down in terms of like, because the Hermit, when it's not reversed, actually means that you can kind of withdraw into yourself. Not necessarily in a bad way, but when it's upside down, it can mean the opposite, like you're coming out of your cave. You have done a lot of work on yourself. Now you're ready to show the world who you really are. And the fact that this is in the second half, like I said, you can push this to the beginning of October if you wish to. But at the beginning of the reading, the energies based on the energies that you were currently feeling, this is likely not to happen until the second half of October, but you could always push it forward. So yeah, I think once you do that inner work, you really question yourself. Like, why do I think this about myself? Why do I think I cannot do this? Why do I think that I'm not as talented, I'm not as gifted, I'm not as qualified as the next person? Like, why not? Why can't you be? A lot of the times it's not about that. It's just about being willing to take the reins and be like, I'm going to sit here and learn. And in reality, that's just the way it usually is. Nobody really, I know I already kind of mentioned it, but nobody really goes into a new position being qualified, right? You learn on the job. You learn once you actually start to do something. And how are you going to start to do something if you think you can't do it? So whatever opportunities that come your way this next month or during the Mercury retrograde, hell, just take it. If it's something that you want, do not let yourself get in the way, because that's the only person that's going to get in the way is yourself. So if something comes up that you really want, that you worked hard for, and you are offered something, take it. Know that you can do it, that you will learn how to get better at it, and it's going to be fine. And no one's really going to judge you. And if there are haters or people that criticize you, who cares? It's not like they would have done better. It's not like they would have done better than you. So do not fret about that. All right. We also have Messenger, serious energy, bringing harmony and balance. Good, good. All right. And Anna, grandmother of Jesus. I actually don't know entirely what that is about. I've never heard of Jesus having a grandmother, but I guess that would make sense since the Virgin Mary was his mother. But anyway, I'll take more what it says at the bottom. Seeding the light, laying foundations, divine plan. So yeah, I think one thing that you can start doing during this time to really reap the rewards of October is to start really questioning yourself. What do you really want in life? You can sit down with a pen and a pad, or meditate on it, and almost in a way manifest it if you are familiar with manifesting. As we have seeding the light and laying foundations. So I think you, at this point in your life, maybe haven't questioned a lot what it is that you're meant to be doing, and maybe that's where this lack of self-belief comes in, because you don't really know what you're meant for. So start really questioning yourself. What is it that you really want to do in this life? What type of career or work, or if it's not related to that, maybe you want to have a family. So really start thinking about that and making sure that you are planning your life, you are taking steps towards making that life a reality. Because when we don't know what we want, we are just kind of like, I don't know, like you go to college and, oh, sure, I'll take this class. I don't know what I want to study. So you're just kind of moving along. You are moving forward, but without a clear direction. So yeah, laying foundation, start thinking about where it is you want to go next. Think about the bigger picture. And you can always, like for example, meditate and ask for answers. If you're really lost, you can surrender it to the universe. Say, I do not know what I'm here for. Please help me find my purpose. Guide me in the direction of my divine higher self. What is it that I'm here to do? Because a lot of things that are laid before us as human beings from the moment, we're children, those things are not meant for everybody. Going to school, working a 9-to-5 job, like those are things that are not meant for everybody. And if you're on your path of doing that and it just doesn't feel right in your gut, then maybe that path isn't for you. And that's just an example. And again, you don't really ever waste your time. So if you got a degree and maybe it had nothing to do with your higher purpose, or maybe it does in an indirect way, like maybe at the end of the day, like if you got a psychology degree, maybe at the end of the day, you're not meant to be a psychologist, but maybe you are going to work in something or do something where your psychology degree will still serve you in some way because you understand people better. So even though it's not directly psychology that you're working in, whatever you learn during school still will always help you. So don't ever think that you wasted your time or you're wasting your time. But yeah, if you're very lost, take a moment, meditate, or just ask your guides, God, whoever that source is for you. Because I think you are being called to start heading towards your purpose. And for some reason, you have been blocked. But yeah, like we were talking about earlier as well, once you realize it, it's just gonna come out full force. Scorpio is intense. Like once you know your purpose, everybody around you is going to know it without question. So we're gonna pull out one more card for you. We're getting one dragon because, you know, I mentioned it in the other readings. I think we need a little fire breathing action to help us combat this Mercury retrograde. So let's see what we have for you. That's the back of the card. I like these a lot. Sunshine Yellow Dragon helps you to help animals, serve animals, heal, respect, and understand them. Okay, so I don't know. This obviously doesn't mean that you have to be a veterinarian or work with animals. But maybe being out in nature, being surrounded by animals. If you don't have a pet, maybe consider getting a pet. Maybe taking care of a pet will kind of help you find your purpose. These things come in like random ways. So even though it doesn't seem like relevant at all, it could be. Yeah, all of these are actually like forest or animals that you see when you go out in nature. So a squirrel, a crow or a raven, a mockingjay, those could be relevant to you in some way. A deer. I think also, like we talked about, the original question was like what advice can we get, or what do we need to know in terms of having the most empowered October or the most empowered Mercury retrograde. So I think if you are ever feeling lost or you come through a hurdle, I think animals will help you a lot. So spend time with your pet or out in nature just when you are able to see wild animals. Maybe even meditate out in nature. I think a lot of this being in your head, maybe you're also spending too much time indoors and maybe you need to get out a little bit more. I know that was kind of very general, so you won't resonate like probably with every single one of those points. So take the one that does resonate with you and use it whenever you do come across something that may disrupt your peace during this next month. But it is a sunshine yellow dragon, so I think good things are coming. A lot of optimism, especially here with Jupiter, sunshine yellow. And the Hermit reversed, so coming out of that cave, going outside. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of you spend a lot of times indoors, on a computer or something like that. So yeah, it might be a little, you need to reconnect with Mother Earth, nature. Anyway, pile 3, I will leave you here. I hope that you have a very blessed October, that you find your own voice and confidence, and you love yourself unabashedly, and you believe in yourself. If you would like a personal reading from me, you can always purchase one through my website, starlightvessel.com, or you can feel free to join my spiritual community on Instagram at starlightvessel. Anyway, I hope that this resonated, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye! Hello, if you are here, you chose pile number 4, which was our 20-sided die. We'll first be looking at your tarot cards. And as I mentioned before, this is going to be surrounding the energies of October and Mercury retrograde and how best we can sort of get through those little obstacles and bumps in the road that Mercury retrograde is known to kind of cause, wreak a little havoc. I'm sure you guys, if you're here listening to your tarot reading, it's because you know somewhat about that. But if you don't, you can always look it up. It's always interesting when Mercury is retrograde. It doesn't mean anything super negative, but you know, it can. Sometimes you're like on your way rushing to work and you get a flat tire, you get a text message from your ex, or you know, little things like that that won't ruin your life, of course, but maybe your day. So anyway, we're gonna look at the energies and again, see what advice we can get to kind of have the best month that we can. All right, so first we have the 10 of Swords. Then we have the Knight of Wands. We also have the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Cups. All right, so first thing, Ten of Swords reversed. I love to see it. I don't know if this will be true for all of you. This is a general reading, but I think many of you are coming out of a very dark time in your life. But I do think that most of you are reaching that point where you are kind of done feeling down and you're ready to tackle life. Grab it by the horns and just, enjoy life a little bit more. Have fun, spend time with friends. I think, yeah, you've been hurt and you're ready to put yourself out there again. And this, when I say that, it kind of sounds like it's a romantic thing, but it definitely doesn't have to be. The Knight of Wands, Knight of Wands is a very ambitious person. They know what they want and they are going after it. So I think you are going to be rekindling after, what may have been a dark time, or it doesn't have to be super dark, but just a hard time in your life. And I think you're going to be rekindling with your passions and going after them again. And also with this Three of Cups, I think you are also, maybe you haven't been going out too much. I mean, depends when you watch this reading, but at the time that I'm recording, we are still sort of in a pandemic, and people don't go out as much as they used to. But I think you are ready to kind of see friends, maybe not all the time, but definitely more than you have in the past few months or even the last year or two. And maybe that's part of why you haven't felt so great, is lack of socialization, lack of interaction with people. And then with this Four of Cups, maybe you have a pet and they've kind of been one of your only companions, which that's wonderful. Pets are so awesome. If you don't have a pet, you might want to consider getting a pet, which is funny because that kind of came up in pile number 3, if you were at all drawn to it. But here with this one cup that's tipped over, if you do have an opportunity that comes to you and you just don't feel ready, don't feel pressured to say yes. I definitely think that's something that you are going to want to look into and maybe even research it a little bit before you say yes straight up. You don't have to rush into anything. With the Four of Cups, we often want to contemplate our options and not say yes right away. This opportunity that presents itself to you may be for you, but I think you're going to be a little bit confused about it at first, and there's no harm in thinking things over. I think that's a good thing. And I think this opportunity will probably be somewhat external, versus here with the Knight of Wands is something that you're pursuing on your own, something that you've wanted to do, something that you've always been passionate about. And so something may come up that is sounds like a good opportunity, but you're just not sure if you want to take it or not. And if you say no, that's also fine. I think also another message here is, while you don't have to say yes right away, also don't be so quick to say no, because you could miss an opportunity if you react a little bit too impulsively. The Knight of Wands can also be kind of impulsive. So if you're confused, don't say yes and don't say no right away. Just think about it for a while. All right, we're gonna look at your oracle cards as well, see if anything pops up. We have the Moon. So it says, satisfy emotional needs, nurture self and others. It's kind of a theme we've been getting, I think this is the 3rd reading, we kind of get a message like that. And then we have House 12, spirituality, transcendence, karma, sacrificial service, and healing. So yeah, I think this is actually a very, like a collective message for most people right now during this Mercury retrograde. A lot of healing going on, a lot of people needing to nurture themselves and paying attention to their own emotional needs and not so much other people's. I think everyone's kind of, especially now for some reason, in charge of their own well-being. And sometimes that's how it has to be. I definitely think that for you, getting the moon in house 12, the moon is the ruler of Cancer, and sometimes it can be associated with Pisces as well. And then house 12 is ruled by Pisces. So you could have Cancer or Pisces, sun, moon, or rising, or strong water energy. You might be feeling, even in these two cards, we have what looks to me a big bright full moon, and even here, if it's not a full moon, it's very close to a full moon. So 3 cards in a row with boom, 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 moon. Oh, is that Katy Perry song? Boom, 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 even brighter than the moon. Yeah, so definitely pay attention to the moon cycles. I think that's going to be extremely important for you. Funnily enough, I just started reading the book called Moonology, if you are curious, and looking it up and reading it, and it talks about manifesting with the moon. I believe right now we just had a full moon in Pisces, yeah. So at least at the time that I'm recording. So I think for many of you, this is going to be a very, very, not just emotional, well, yes, an emotional period, but like you kind of might be in La La Land, in dreamland. You might be receiving a lot of messages through your dreams. Your creativity might be extremely heightened. Again, Knight of Wands, wands are fire, talk about a lot about creativity. And then with all this water and moon energy, I'm almost like, I want to say that you guys should create something. And you don't have to be creative. I mean, most humans, I think, are creative in one way or another. Yeah, while you're in this phase of like, kind of reminds me like, in your mind, you'll be kind of living an Alice in Wonderland type of quirky, like ethereal world in your own head. And if you want to collaborate with friends, you can do that too. Or even get together with them and have like a fun witchy night, like maybe meet up and talk about your wishes, your desires, and visualize them and talk about them out loud with them. I think also like it'll be a strong manifestation period for you. So whatever it is that you've been wanting and desiring, something that you know is for you, for your greater good. I think magically, and maybe not all of you believe in magic, but maybe spiritually, you guys will all be very powerful. And maybe this is why like mundane like offers from the material world will kind of like, you're not going to be that interested in them. You're like, that's why like that cup is tipped over. I don't always interpret that card that way, but now that I'm seeing these cards, I think that's what it is. Because here you have the moon behind you and this little material thing that kind of seems insignificant. It's like, you're not a heavenly body, you know, in the sky. Like, you just don't matter that much. So maybe even if something comes with the promise of steady income or something like that, you're like, well, that doesn't satisfy my soul. Yeah, I think you guys are discovering, or you've already discovered it, and this is going to be a period of really blocking out everything that is a distraction, that isn't part of your spiritual purpose. I mean, do be a little bit careful with disillusionment, being a little bit too in your head, a little bit too like, you know, fantastical, or like you can't forget to, of course, take care of your physical needs. You need to eat, you need to sleep well. You may be prone to like sleeping in really late, or not really sleeping at weird hours. So don't forget about your physical body. I think you're going to be so much in tune with the spiritual realm that you may neglect your earthly body a little bit. So I think, yeah, that's one of the key things here during Mercury retrograde that might present itself a little hump in the road for you. Do not forget to take care of yourself. I know that the dreamland, the spiritual realm, might be a lot more appealing to you than what's here on earth. But at the end of the day, this is where you are and you have a purpose here. And in order to accomplish that purpose, you need to take care of yourself. And you can't permanently live like that, at least not while you're here in the 3D realm. I understand to a degree, because I've had moments in my life where I'm like, wow, living on Earth really sucks. And I hate having a human body. I wish I was like a free-floating ball of energy or something, and I could not be bound by the laws of physics, and I could just free float in the universe. I've had those thoughts before, and if you're reading this pile, you probably have too. So just don't forget, if you're here, if you believe in this stuff, you likely chose to incarnate into a human body because the world needs help. It needs your help. So yeah, maybe let yourself indulge a little bit in your dreams, in your minds, get a little lost in the spirit realm, but don't forget to come back down to earth. All right, we also have the Great Severing, Mars energy, anger, conflict, softening to love. All right. And then we have Pillar of Light. Your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. Okay. Yeah, I think you're going to feel like a lot of, if it's not anger, a lot of resentment towards the earth, the way all of the things happening in this world, and bad things are always happening at all times. It's very unfortunate. That's the way that life here on earth is. Humans have free will, and there's always evil people, always evil things happening to others that don't deserve it. I think because you're so sensitive, sometimes like watching the news or something like that, like you really pick up on it and you feel the pain of so many people that don't even live in the same country as you. You just hear something on the news and it can affect your day. And maybe this anger towards the fact that you are powerless in some of these situations, like there's no way that you can be in multiple countries at once. You know, that it is unfortunately unavoidable, and sometimes nothing we can do about the things happening outside of our communities. So yeah, I think there's a definite frustration with earthly things. But it does say your vibration is rising. You are the Oracle. So, I mean, I don't know all of you, and it is a general reading, but I feel like at this point in time, most of you are already extremely intuitive and spiritual beings. The fact that you got this, you are the Oracle, you probably are interested or already read tarot cards yourself and are into astrology and things like that. So if you're struggling right now with a job you hate, school, and just things that you're kind of not forced to, but encouraged to as a human being to do, I feel for you. I really do. I am done with school and I'm very glad about it. And I think it might be time for you to really find whatever it is that you want to do. I'm sure you already know what you're passionate about. If it's multiple things, like how to make a living off of that. I think you're too ethereal to find enjoyment from the mundane things of life here on earth. So if you can find a way to make a living off of something that connects you more to spirit, then definitely look into that. I think a lot of this Mercury retrograde is going to be your frustration with the earth, with the things that you feel that you're supposed to do as a human being, maybe being seen as less by others because you don't want to conform to like a simple job, or just, I think which just makes you feel miserable, and you're at a point where you're unwilling to do it anymore. And to that I say, good for you. Definitely, I think, take care of your spiritual self, but also take care of your physical body, because like I said, you can't go any further if you don't take care of your physical body. But what we can change is the way we live in this world. Maybe start with baby steps in changing your reality. You will have good friends around you, and maybe friends that are interested in some of the same things that you are. Another thing that I'm seeing is kind of a lot of purple here. So you are probably either very clairvoyant, a strong manifester. So start looking into that. And I think I already mentioned it too, but the life you want is possible. There are annoyances that we have as human beings. We have to pay the bills. We have to make money somehow if we don't have someone taking care of us. But there are ways to do it in a way that is still enjoyable to our life here on Earth, if that makes sense. You do not have to hate your job. You do not have to hate your life here. So if you already know what you love or what you love to do, please take the steps necessary to go towards that. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to do the things that you love. You deserve to profit from doing the things that you love. So I think that's actually something that I wrote in a journal once for manifesting, something that I repeated to myself. So one thing, when you're manifesting, you want to act as if you already have the thing. You want to feel the feeling of already having that thing. So if you say, I profit from doing the things that I love, and you repeat that to yourself and you really feel it, and you visualize yourself already living that life of profiting from the things that you love, of being able to make a living of the things that you love, then eventually that will come to you. And you deserve that life. Everybody deserves that life. So don't think that just because you're different, and I think you are someone who's, it's hard for you to relate to most people, but you do have your good friends around you. But yeah, the things that you can't control, let go of it as much as you can. I know it's not easy, but don't let the things of the world essentially destroy you. Maybe turn off the TV, turn off the news, maybe only tune into the news once a week, or maybe don't chime in every single day, because it can be very depressing, especially if you're an empath or a very sensitive person. So going back to the original question that we had, which was how to empower, October, how to empower ourselves this Mercury retrograde, or this October, to have the best month possible, is pay attention to your emotional needs. What can you do in life, in work, in love? How can you have the best life possible for yourself with these earthly restrictions and these earthly expectations? You can still have a very good time and a very good life. Just think really hard about the things that you really want and work to manifest them. Take steps towards them. And I think you guys are solid good. This world definitely needs your empathy, your love, your spiritual abilities. Some of you may be psychologists and you understand others very well. So you are part of the greater you know how to connect to people And the world really, really needs people like that. We have one last card for you. We have this fire-breathing dragon, because I think we all need one to kind of help us navigate this next month. So we have Kuan Yin's pink dragon. Brings firm love that resets your karmic balance. See all your cords dissolved by transcendent love. Enjoy your freedom. Look for the divine around you. You guys are definitely divinely guided, and you're made of love. And anything that you feel restricts you and holds you back for what you are meant to be doing, that'll dissolve in time. And it would be awesome if it could be this month, this Mercury retrograde, for you to enjoy your freedom, to be able to do the things that you love, like we were talking about. If you have felt that life has been unfair to you, and I think that's the case for many spiritual people, because earthly life is just, it's not easy. So I think your karmic balance will definitely be reset when you set your own intentions and put it out into the universe, what you really want in this life. I probably sound like a broken record at this time, but that's just the message that like keeps on coming through. I think you probably had a very good, solid existence, if we want to call it that, in the spiritual realm, a very powerful spiritual being, and you chose to come down to earth. And that was probably one of the bravest things that your soul ever did. And as hard as this existence might feel for you, the world needs you, and you are so much stronger than you feel. Sensitivity is power. Loving others is power. Being compassionate is power. So I hope that you never take that for granted. I hope that other people around you don't take that for granted. Make sure that you're surrounded by those that treat you fairly. And if anyone doesn't, don't be afraid to cut the cords. If anyone judges you for choosing a lifestyle that's different than their own, that's not your atypical lifestyle, you don't need them. But in all seriously, I do highly recommend to start, if you haven't already, start asking the universe for the things that you desire, for the things that will make you happy, that will set your heart aflame, that will send you on your true life's purpose. And don't ever think that you don't deserve it. There's more than enough to go around in this world. Everything that you feel you want in your heart is something that you deserve, and don't doubt that. And I think with that, I will leave you there, my lovely pile number 4s. I hope that this reading resonated. If you would like a personal reading from me, you can always purchase one from my website at starlightvessel.com, or you can join my spiritual community on Instagram at starlightvessel. If you enjoyed this video and would like to watch more, don't forget to subscribe, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Bye!